All right. You're listening to the Pat and Dario show on KEDG. That was us, but Dario's not here, but
All right. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another KSSU alumni interview. I'm Jasmine, the promotion and events coordinator here at KSSU. And today I'm here with another alumni spotlight. So, can you introduce yourself and kind of explain your connection to the station?
sure thing. I'm Patrick Varney. Let's see, I went to Sac State from like 89 to it's embarrassing, 95. Um, and so I actually met Jim Bolt through the unique programs there. My sister, who's 4 years older than me, also went to Sac State and was involved in unique, and so I got involved with that because of her early on. And so yeah, I met Jim that way, and that's how I kind of got into the radio station piece. I think by the time I was kind of more involved there, we'd done a lot of the preliminary work. Yeah, I think they started a little before I was really involved, but yeah, honey, but yeah, when it actually came to fruition, I was there, and then I after Jim and Chris and some of the folks that were a year or two ahead of me had already graduated. I became the program director there and kind of babysat it there for a few years.
How was it like back then, like in the early 1990s, like when you first joined?
What's it like? Uh, in what respect? Just overall, compared to like today, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, because I know, like, now there's so much that has changed here at KSSU.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, like, then you guys actually like fought for like to have the radio station on campus. Now like they actually have it here on campus. So
Right,
like,
right.
what was that like having to like bring it onto campus and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of it was a lot of activity around that, just getting yeah, I wasn't super involved at the point where they were getting the carrier current thing over to the dorms, right? That was kind of the first step. Um, so I kind of took a more active role after that. So while I was there, we did we got the antenna. I can't remember what building it was on. We got an antenna anyway, like, a very I can't remember what the what it was called, but a very short range broadcast from I think it was like the administration building that they had an antenna up there, and so that was something that happened while I was there, and then that kind of helped move along. And then we tried to do a deal with the high school Sac High, because they had actually had a license for an FM station, and so we spent a lot of time trying to negotiate a kind of a thing with them where we would use the station during their off hours, and did a lot of work figuring out how we'd get our signal to them, and in the end it all fell through, which was kind of a bummer. But but yeah, that was a interesting. So there's just a lot going on, and just yeah, trying to get things moved along. Yeah, I built a whole deep what was it called? Like a portable DJ system, so that we could go places and do promotions and things, and yeah, put in a new soundboard in the library studio. I think we moved offices, say like twice while I was there, and in production studio. So yeah, just a lot of things that were kind of early stages set up and things like that needed to happen.
So I know you mentioned that like you built like the soundboard and then like the portable DJ set. How was that like? Like how long did it take you to build that? And
Um,
like what was the process of that?
so I went through the whole. So this was like the year before they decided that we didn't need any budget whatsoever. So so I actually had a budget, which was nice. So I had a budget to purchase the stuff, and so I kind of did the research and purchased it, and it was just it was all the components, right? The turntables, because we had turntables and the mixer and the amplifiers and all that, and it was and then we had the portable box kind of things that we um had everything in. And so yeah, the part I did was just installing all that equipment in the boxes, and then we had we made the special connector. There's one other guy that helped me. I have no idea what his name was, but we had a connector so that instead of having to plug in a bunch of stuff, it was just one cable with like 20 little connections in there, plugged it in. That was cool. So yeah, I had no idea how long that took me to build, because it was like after classes here and there, I'd go. We the what was the I can't remember the name of the organization, like the media. So in the basement of the library, there was the the media guys or whatever they were, but the techie guys that worked at the school, right? They were in the basement of the library, and so they were really helpful because they helped a lot with just everything, all these technical pieces that we were working on. But they let us use the their work area down there, and that's where we were all set up and putting that together. So I imagine it probably took a few weeks of evenings, putting that together. I mean, it wasn't like a huge amount of work because, each piece was already together. It was just getting it all in the boxes and all that. But yeah, so yeah, that was that. And then I think the on air board, that was a bigger project because it just was a big chunk. I had to go in there and get all wired up, and yeah, I was able to connect the turntable so that when you hit the button, the turntable would start. Just was fun. So
Okay. Did you ever like learn how to DJ or you
um in what respect?
more of like with the turntables, like just like performing out there
Oh
in
yeah,
the
no,
audience?
no, not in a way that you would think. So like before college, I had my own like you know mobile DJ setup kind of thing, and I did like high school uh dances and stuff, and but,
Okay.
but never in that you know rec with the records thing, doing all that stuff. No, I
Yeah.
didn't. I never went that far, and learned how to be a mix master in that way. I just played the music.
You mentioned that you participated in the 24-hour music marathon.
Yeah,
How was it like back then? Because we actually did it after many years this year,
yeah, right, okay,
back in March. So obviously it was like much more different than how it was like back then.
right.
But I just wanted to like get some insight. Like how was the 24-hour music marathons back then?
It was fun. It was trying to remember if there was. I seem to remember some kind of conflict of something where we were, I don't know, too loud or something. There's all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's just it was a good time, and just being out there in the heat. Like I said in my thing, it's like we, we realized that we got the turntables out there, and I put down one of my records, and it just went, it just warped like nobody's business as soon as I put it down there, because those mats on the turntables are black, and the heat just made those records warp like crazy. So
Mm.
that was the first thing. It's like, well, we need shade. Uh, so yeah, and it was just, yeah, it was a fun time. I remember having Jolt Cola. We get the sponsor, the Jolt Cola sponsor for one of them, and so we had a whole case or cases of Jolt Cola. So that was fun.
I think I did see a picture on the KEDG website where you guys like spray painted, I believe, a car or something for like
Oh,
promotion.
oh yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if you were
yeah.
involved in that, but I saw that.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
I do
And
recall that. Yeah,
yeah, I wish like we were able to do that, but I feel like with cars, how expensive they are nowadays, I feel like no, we wouldn't be able to do it within our budget.
yeah.
But yeah, that's actually pretty cool to know, like how the musical marathon back then used to run. Did you guys ever do like live radio shows during then?
Um, I don't think so. I don't think we were set up to do that. We just didn't have the equipment to get that signal back right to
Hmm.
get it to the station. I mean, I do remember we had the little portable Marantz recorder things that we do. We could do some recording of interviews while we're out and stuff like that were handy. But yeah, that was the extent of it.
You mentioned you also co-hosted a show. You co-hosted the Pat and Dario show.
All right.
How was that like? Like what was your show about and like what was it?
Uh, just about music and being stupid college kids. I mean, yeah, somehow, yeah, Jim Bolt actually sent me a recording of one of our shows, and so if I didn't have the recording, I wouldn't even be able to tell you what the heck it was about. But yeah, it's just silly banter between people and playing music, and
Mhm.
yeah, just nothing too serious.
Was there a specific genre you liked in music?
No, yeah, I think our tastes were all over the place. I mean, I guess, yeah, I lean towards like kind of the alternative uh, side of things. So, yeah, I guess that would be it. But tried to be pretty wide variety.
What back then, what type of events did KADG do, like on campus? Besides like the music marathon that you mentioned?
Right. So, when when I was the program director, I think for a couple years we did. Oh shoot, what the heck was it called? It was like a hip hop show basically. There was a guy, his name- yeah, Thomas Rose. I remember that guy. He was on. I think he was the promotions director at that time. And he put together these hip hop shows. I think one of them may have gotten a little out of hand, but but yeah, I do remember that. Trying to remember what else we did. There was one. There was a thing we did in the quad once. I don't remember if it was. Yeah, that must have been another music marathon because, and we just we upgraded from being just playing music to having some live performances as well, and that was with that one. I remember Anton Barbeau was there, and they didn't have enough power out in the quad. Like we had power when we did it. We did it in the I think the first one we did on the lawn by the student union, which I don't know if that lawn's even there anymore. It's probably building.
Mhm. I think I think we still have it. Did it
Yeah.
have like a stage or anything?
No, there was like an area where we'd set up a stage like down. Yeah, it's like you'd walk down this walkway, and the cafeteria was kind of there on the right, and then it's just this lawn that's kind of like almost like an amphitheater where it kind of went up.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
they still have it, I believe.
yeah, okay.
It's just like more like they obviously like upgraded it a bit. Like there's a
Yeah.
stage and there's like
Oh,
seating
okay.
now too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we did our first one there, then the second one we got pushed out into the kind of that field that I don't have no idea what's there now, but it was kind of like yeah, it was kind of towards the parking lots. And then I think it was the third one we did was in the quad, and yeah, so we didn't have enough power to run everything, so we had to get a generator, and then I think the generator ran out of gas, and
Oh.
that was all. That was fun, but yeah, that was one of them. But yeah, I don't remember if we did any other. Those are the only show type, or event type things I remember doing. Yeah.
You published a station newsletter on paper.
Yeah.
What kind of things did you include in it?
Um, so I think I don't know how many of those I did. I may have only done the one, but it was basically like it was kind of an introduction to new staff, and um we had the like a top 10 or something in there of the whatever month or week or whatever it was. Um yeah, so it's just kind of an informational thing, and it had an update on the thing we were trying to do with Sac High, and then yeah, just had all the basically all the new staff members. Yeah, basically it. And then it had like a list of meetings, on the back, so that, and I think it was targeted towards people that were involved with the station, so that they had something to look at that would tell them when meetings were and all that.
Mhm. And you were also a station manager back then too, right? What was like your responsibilities and stuff? Like what type of work was it like back then?
So it was yeah, program director, station manager, I think it's the same thing. But
Mhm.
um yeah, so I mean I was responsible for a lot of things. And I think, part of what happened there when a lot of the other founder types graduated was, there was when I was in that position, it was a little bit of that initial momentum, had kind of gotten lost, because I mean part of it was because I think a lot of the people that were there at the beginning had a certain excitement about it because it was something we were kind of building, right? And then kind of when that generation left and I was there, and we had these new people coming in, they didn't have um you know that same spark about it, right? And so the participation was kind of difficult, just because it's like they want to do a show, but they meant maybe they didn't want to show up for a meeting. Yeah, it was a little challenging at the time, and so I think I ended up doing a lot of stuff myself. So I was scheduling staff meetings, doing budget stuff, trying to figure out all that, and then yeah, the like that last year, it's kind of funny because the ASI board, that student board, I'm assuming it's still the same way. They've got like a bunch of students that
Yeah.
yeah, it's the although all those people at the time, except for one, really, they seemed very like politically geared, right? So it's like they get into student government so that they could then be government people, and so it was this kind of I felt like there was these power plays going on, politics, and so they, and I don't know what motivations they had, but they wanted to just basically shut it down, right? I was like,
Mhm.
and which didn't I didn't understand like what the yeah again what the motivation was, other than money, and they must have had some place they wanted to put their money, I guess, instead
Yeah.
of the radio station. And so I had to go in there, just me, by myself, and meet with the whole ASI board about it. And there's like one guy who was kind of the black sheep of the ASI board. I can't remember his name, but he was rooting for us, and so yeah, basically I just went in there and said, well, okay, we've got this, we had a nice budget that we could work from, and that we were able to get new equipment and all that stuff. And then so basically I kind of went in there and said, well, you know, this is the minimum we can operate on, and to keep it alive, basically. And so that's how it continued. And I think that was even because I was in like a paid, student assistant type position at that time. And I think that was just, eliminating all of that, 'cause that was the only paid position there was. And I think that was, so they got rid of the paid positions, got rid of any kind of equipment budget, and just, it was just like bare bones. And honestly, I think that was like, that must have been right when I graduated, because I don't remember even you know, running the station on nothing. Or either that, or maybe I was still, yeah, maybe I still was being, paid in a student assistant position, but maybe that wasn't part of the student budget. It was maybe just part of the ASI,
Mhm.
student assistant stuff. But yeah, it was I mean, like if I had to guess, I would say that like, we had a normal budget of like maybe $70,000, and then I trimmed it down to like 5,000. So
Oh God.
yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, luckily we'd already gotten a lot of that equipment, the sound, the studio board, and the DJ equipment, and everything else was, I think we must have gotten a lot of stuff donated from those guys in the in the basement of the library, because
Uh,
some of the stuff we had was older, older equipment. But but yeah, so that was the point at which it made it.
I know you mentioned that you guys tried to trademark KSSU the Apex.
Yeah.
What exactly like went down? Like what really happened?
So yeah, so well, okay, so it goes back to the whole KDG thing, right? So
Mhm.
so we called ourselves that, turned out there was another radio station called that, and somebody spilled the beans, and this other station, found out we were using these call letters, and they sent us like a cease and desist letter. It's like, okay, fine. So so we, came up with KSSU, and then I think we, made sure it wasn't being used already, obviously.
Mhm.
And then, just because we'd gone through that experience of the KGG thing, and it's like, well, we should, trademark it at least, because we weren't actually an FM station, we couldn't actually, reserve those letters as an FM station. So yeah, we thought, well, we can maybe safeguard it by trademarking it. So I went down, this is before a lot of internet things. So I went into the library by the Capitol, and like where you actually have to, yeah, like have to do some look up through some books about other trademarks to make sure that it wasn't already taken. It was an interesting process, but yeah, so I'd filled out the form and everything, and then yeah, somebody like on the ASI board got word that I was doing that, and they're like, oh no, we have to make sure the lawyers are doing that. And it's like, so I gave it to them, and and then I just said, oh, whatever. So I have no idea if I don't even know what happened with that. If they just decided, uh, yeah, it was kind of stupid because I don't think they actually did anything with it. So it's like, if you're
Yeah.
not gonna do anything with it, let me do what I'm gonna do. But yeah, it just was, one of those things where people think other people, the experts, have to do things when you could actually do them yourselves if you wanted to.
What does KSSU mean to you now when you look back at it?
Um, Man, that's a good one. I mean it really was. I mean, that along with like the stuff I did with Unique, um, it really shaped a lot of me personally, just leadership stuff, and just it kind of it had a lot of elements of entrepreneurship, just kind of building something. And so I still, I mean, I was like that before then, but but it, just built on that, and I still use some of that today. Just it's just really, it was just a huge learning experience. I mean, it's obviously college is for learning, but that type of learning is incredibly valuable to, because you can go to your classes and do your stuff and take your tests, whatever, and graduate, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to, you know, join the workforce. If you've got that type of extracurricular stuff, it just really, really, really helps in life and career and all that.
Uh, what advice would you give to current students like who want to keep KSSU active and growing? Or just like any advice you want to just give out there to students?
Students. Yeah. Um, I get involved. It's a good, you know, being the more involved you are, the more interest, the more, I guess, fire you get to help and do things. And I think, yeah, that's just really important to be to be passionate about something. And so it's like, if that's your your passion, that's a great place to be. I mean, obviously, if you're not into student radio, then maybe not. But, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just I think it's just a really, really good experience. And and it doesn't you don't have to like want to be going into radio, or be a DJ as a career. It's not, it's not even, I would say it's like 5% about that, right? There was of the people I uh worked with at the station. I think there was one that actually became a DJ for a while, and then he moved on to working in insurance. So, so it's not really about whether being a DJ. It's just that that experience of, because really, I mean, you're running a business, right? So it's that's the value you get out of that is being in different positions, and understanding how things work, and how really how business interacts, and how station interacts with ASI and all that stuff. So yeah,
Thank you. I love that advice because I would say the same thing. I think everyone should join KSSU. It's a great experience. I joined literally this year in January, and I loved it. I would have never thought I would get into like radio or anything related, like even DJing. I never would have thought I would learn how to DJ. But
yeah,
look, here I am learning how to DJ. So yeah, I think it's a great experience. Maybe you will like it too, like in the future. You never know.
yeah,
You won't know if you don't try it. But
right.
thank you so much for being here for the interview. I really
You're welcome.
appreciate you for taking some time,
Yeah,
being able to talk to us. And I hope to see you at the 35th anniversary.
can't make it. I'm a little bummed.
Uh,
I've got a 3-month-old baby, so.
well, thank you so much for doing the interview. You take care. But yeah, thank you so much.